again, Uno, I want to tell you thank you so much for coming on, because like Deadhead Hip Hop is, to me, one of the pinnacle real voices of when it comes to hip hop reporting. So, you know,
Right.
when I saw you on there, you know, that tells me what kind of caliber of an artist that you are, because they don't just take anybody.
That's real. Well, you know, I definitely want to thank nowhiphop.com and you for, you know, allowing me the opportunity. I definitely, you know, am seeking any outlet that I can to just get the music out there, you know.
I totally agree. What I find interesting about you is the fact that when you were younger, you grew up in New York, and then you moved to Atlanta. And we all know that, you know, the South says that their hip-hop is better, but then New York also says that their hip-hop is better. So growing up in both of those areas, you know, how has that defined you as an artist? Because, you know, this genre of music is so based on loyalty to where you're from.
Yeah, without a doubt. I gotta say, you know, I represent Riverdale, Georgia to the fullest. As far as how that's affected me as an artist, I think it's made me a great artist. It's given me a combination of versatility, like as far as my artistry, because you know I come from the New York culture. You know, like that's where I come from. My family, we all kind of moved here at the same time, and you know I grew up on that music, and being in the South, of course, I grew up on that music, so it kind of gave me like the best of both worlds. And you hear it in my music. I feel like there's a bit of a southern swing to what I do, but you can definitely hear like the East Coast flow I kind of play on. So I think it's made me a better artist most of all. But you know, ultimately, I come from this southern culture. I've been in Georgia since I was 9 years old. So all of my life experiences have really come from down here, to be honest, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I find interesting is because, you know, like I've mentioned to a lot of artists that I've talked in the past, and I'm really curious to get your opinion on this, is, of course, the program Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And
right. Mm-hmm.
people who are new to the culture, you know, of hip-hop, you know, they think that, oh, you know, this is the representation of, you know, of our culture. So considering the fact that you are, you know, actually talented and you know, represent exactly where you're coming from, how do you feel this show is giving an impact on the South?
I hope that most people don't look at that as a you know, a authentic representation of like the South hip.
Yeah, because that's, you know, that's the main thing that like boggles my mind about, because I feel like there's two spheres of rap and hip hop. There are the people who they just look good so they can sell records, and then there are the people, you know, like yourself that, you know, you look good but you stand by what, you know, you preach, and I see that in your lyrics. So
Right.
what is the process like for you? You know, you're sitting down, you know, writing a song. Does it just come to you, or is it something where you're like, you know what? Oh, I saw this car. No, that sounds like a song. I'm gonna write it down.
You know what? It's like there's no like just standard approach that I take when creating. And like it's true when they say you can find inspiration in anything. I find myself a lot of times listening to the radio, or like whenever I'm driving, I think for some reason that's like my most inspirational time sometimes. Like I just come up with some of my dopest ideas, but for the most part I as you see, like I try to come forth with a message and say something what I'm doing, like with my music. I try to really put a message out there, but I try to do it in a fun and creative way, the way I'm not preaching to you. You can still rock with me and you know, see that I can relate to you on on different levels. But you know, I try to come forth with a message. So for the most part, it's just, you know, strategizing, just thinking on what I want to say, and a lot of times too, it can come from me listening to the beat, and I just feel the music and let it speak to me.
When I was reading more about you, and I was reading more in detail about your biography, and mentioned that, you know, from your experiences that you've had this reverence for God. And how I find that interesting is that, of course, you know, they have Christian hip hop and everything like that. But I find that it's a struggle to incorporate, you know, a religious connotation, and in a music where, you know, some hip hop can be very violent, and some hip hop is not. So how do you, as an artist, kind of, you know, balance? Because I'm sure you have an audience of people that are really into that type of music, but I'm sure there are young people who like your stuff as well.
And that's you know, that's my whole approach. Like I represent the name of my movement that I'm pushing is One Nation, and what it represents is God first, get money. You'll hear me a lot of times in my music say G1GM. That stands for God first, get money. And it's not easy, you know what I mean? Because like you said, like the masses, they want to hear what they want to hear. They just want to laugh. And a lot of times when you're in a club, you ain't trying to, you know, you just want to groove. So when you got a message to go forth, it's a different kind of audience. I believe that you have to go that you have to really target. But for the most part, like, I try to appeal to the masses on that level, like, but bring God to the forefront, because in all honesty, God is in everything that we do. You know, there's a scripture that I like to refer to from the Bible that says, if I make my bed in hell, he is there. You know, so like, God is in everything we do, and I'm really just trying to bring that to the forefront with my music. You know what I mean? Because we can't get away from it. God first. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is, for real, for real.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think that's what's hard for a lot of artists, because there are artists that are Christian artists, but then I feel like there are artists that kind of have the connotation kind of interwoven, because I feel once you have that label, I mean, even myself, I'm Christian as well.
Right.
I feel once you have that label that you are a Christian artist, it creates this alienation that people assume that you're just telling everybody, you know, they're going to hell, and, like preachers of LA. That's a perfect example of what we're talking about, is that people don't realize that even people who do follow Christianity or whatever you may, practice, are normal people. So I think that's why I enjoy, like, listening to your songs, because it's just nice to talk to someone who's normal, because everybody has a gimmick now. No, seriously.
Wow.
Everybody has a gimmick. Everybody has a gimmick. Everybody has something that, they're creating drama. Like, for example, the whole TLC and Rihanna situation.
Right.
TLC didn't say anything about Rihanna, but then Rihanna decided to show her true colors about, how she felt about this situation. So I like that with you, and I know people are probably going to be like, oh, she's just saying that because it's an interview. But you have no gimmick, and I think that's a real hip-hop.
I love your perspective. That's a dope perspective you got there, man. Like, I appreciate that, and I try to be just as translucent and honest and real that as firsthand, like on a negative level. Like, just when I was younger as a teenager, the music that I listened to, I just seen like the mentality that I had, and the attitude and the character that I felt like I needed to carry myself with, but it has so much to do with that music. Like, so I know the power of it. And then it's dope artists that's positive. That, man, when you listen to it, like the feeling you get, it can literally alter the way you think, man. And so I try to do this thing like for real and give people, especially like the youth, man, these young black kids like coming up, like something to show them like you cool and you can be cool, but you ain't really gotta be negative. You ain't gotta be, you know what I mean? Like the way that, like, 'cause I'm telling you, this music really got a lot of our heads jacked up, especially the youth. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to make the biggest difference in the world, and it ain't easy because, like you said, you know, like when you put God first, they get funny. I got that in one of my lyrics on that. I've been on my grind. I said, trying to put God first and get money. But when you put God first, they get funny. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's not easy. It's a difficult task, but I'm doing this like every day with my whole heart, like until God opens these doors and we can appeal to the masses. I really want to change something. You know what I mean? And
right.
And that's why I try to be honest in my music.
Right. And I mean, with every great artist, you definitely have a team, because I feel like sometimes people focus so much on the artist that they don't take time to realize that, you know, there are people who help them with their fashion. There are people, you know, who help them with things. So who are the people that are like your team that are supporting you and kind of helping you to keep going?
Oh man, I got a strong team, man. I got a strong team. My boy Boom, I would definitely say, you know, he's a part of the inner circle. My boy Q Ball, Candy Cartel and the Cartel Agency. She actually has I think it's the cartelagency.com. She provides services for me, and like she's a friend as well, like on a personal level. So it's like these people like that I have in my corner. I don't have the biggest team, but I have like the strongest team because my support system is just so strong. My boy Playboy Zay, my boy Renzi. It's like I got people that will, you know, give me their last to help me to get this music out here. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like family, people that I came up with. You know what I mean? And it's One Nation. That's my team, One Nation. Like it's a number of people, and I know I'm not gonna name everybody, but you know, even the people that just are here to support me mentally, like, you know, my mother, my family, like that's my team, my support system, people that on an everyday basis just are here for me in different ways, and it ain't gotta be just about music. It's just in life, you know. That's what I do it for. My daughter, you know.
I really appreciate you mentioning your mother and your daughter. So, you know, like, as you can see, people, there are there are rappers that have hearts. Okay, like, it's kind of nice to see that, you know, that you mentioned people who, you know, who help you out, because I like what I mentioned before, you know, no one mentions, you know, the people that influence them. You know, everybody mentions, you know, everybody, like for you, you definitely said that, you know, Tupac was definitely someone that moved you and influenced, you know, your work. But I also think it's important, too, to be like, yeah, you know, my mom who, you know, sacrificed everything and brought me here, you know, my daughter who I care about. Like, those are the things that I wish more artists would say, because I think
I got a saying that goes, there's no such thing as self-made. It just sound good because ain't nobody getting nowhere by themselves. It take a team and it take a support system. You know what I mean? And without that, you know, I'm nowhere. So like it'd be wrong for me not to mention those people like that. I wouldn't be here without them, you know?
Definitely. And let's talk about your music. Like, what's going on with that? Because, of course, you know, I've been putting your songs on repeat here, you know. Like I was telling my friend, I was like, why am I so pumped up? Like,
man, that's major love. I just love it, like, when I come across, like, people that are really fans of the work, man, like, because that's what I do it for, like, you know what I mean, for the people that it's going to affect. But, you know, as far as music, man, I'm still pushing this project, I Want the Streets, that I dropped in October. The main single that I was working in clubs and performing was I've Been on My Grind, but I'm beginning now to merge into this second single, which I'm really about to just start working online, as well as like I start performing. That's gonna be 285 Cruising, and I'm lined up to have shoot a video this Saturday for it, and I'm just pushing this project, trying to get it out there. So we about to start lining up some different shows in Augusta, Macon, all over Georgia, and just get it out there. You know what I mean?
And please promise me one thing. Could you please put some big girls in your video, some women of different sizes, because, and maybe, a couple dark-skinned girls. Nothing against light-skinned girls, but just mix it up a little bit.
Yo, I got you. Trust me, baby. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I'm with you.
I feel like when I'm watching these music videos, I'm like, okay, let me keep the quota of how many Beyonce-like women are going to be in this video today. And then, let me see. Is there going to be one? Oh, okay. I feel a little joy. There's a half a big girl there. Okay. It's not Mike Evans related.
They come in all different shapes and sizes. I love them all.
Yeah, for real. Celebrate. If I saw more black men, celebrating the diversity of women, put some Asians in there. Shout out to my Latino people. Just mix it up a little bit, because I'm with
you, man. I'm with you, definitely. We're gonna make that happen, for real.
Yeah, that would be great. Like, put ATL on the map for that. Like, that would be, maybe some girls with no butt, because I know ATL is about, like, I feel like if I go there, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have nothing packing back there, so.
You too much for me, man. You just shit. Hey, man, I do not discriminate. Believe me when I tell you, I love them all. I do. I'll try to keep that in mind.
So how can people, get in touch with you and your music? And I'll make this a two-part question.
Okay.
What other advice would you give to young people? Because, I tell you, hip-hop, young folks eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they don't realize that some of the images that these artists are putting is just a fantasy, and I think you're bringing realism and reality to what you're doing.
Yeah. The advice that I would give to these young cats is that you can be yourself. You be comfortable being you. Learn yourself. Take the time to learn who you are, and don't be so swayed by the media, by television, by music. Take the time to get to know you, and remember, God first, get money. And when I say God first, that's because he came first. He created us, and he is first. And at the end of the day, you're gonna learn that one way or another. And I say get money because you gotta live, you gotta provide. You know what I mean? You can't live without it. Money is very vital. It's important. Get money. It's okay to get money. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that. No matter how positive you is, no matter how close you feel you come to God, it's okay to get money. Always remember that. G1GM, God first, get money. As far as my contact, md1music.com, just like Mookie the One. So that's MD and the number 1 music.com. You can follow me on Instagram at MD_Uno, Twitter MD_Uno, and then we got Facebook /MD. It's Mookie DA Uno. So it's Mookie the Uno. Rock with me, man. Rock with me. We trying to change some things. We coming with a real movement. You know what I mean? And we just keeping it true out here. So y'all follow the movement. Rock with the nation.
Well, no, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad that there are still, real MCs left that have humanistic quality. We need more people like you who are doing things and just acknowledging the realism of what's going on in our society and what, people of color are going through.
Right.
Because there's two sides to every story. And when, your new music comes on, please let me know.
Yo, I will. You're mad cool, Blazer, and I just thank you again for this opportunity, man. Like I appreciate, Now Hip Hop and, Dead End, like you mentioned, like platforms like this that give me a place to have an outlet and just get the message out there, spread my word and get my truth out there. So I thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it,
No, definitely, and I would love to have you come back. So definitely take care, and we'll be keeping in touch.
All right, Blazing Quita, you be good. God bless, bud.
All right, you too.
All right now.